Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Calvin over at The Simple Driver. Today's video is going to be about navigation, and more specifically how to earn an extra $200 a week simply by understanding the power of your navigation. Now, obviously, I'm not going to waste your time talking to you about just some generic GPS stuff, left and right turns, whatever, that would bore you to death, and you would never subscribe to my channel for that. I'm talking about real world information that will help you earn an additional $200 a week or an extra $800 a month, 200 times 4, obviously, and without driving more hours or without driving more days. Whatever you're driving now, I'm going to show you how to maximize it by using the Uber app. Now, Uber Navigation, and not their app, but another app. And the reason that is most of you don't understand that there is an option out here that will allow you to spend less time in traffic, that will allow you to make less mistakes when it comes to actually navigating your passenger and getting them to their destination, and something out here that will actually save you money on your vehicle. Okay, so hopefully I have your attention. So with that being said, I am going to turn you guys into Wazers. That is not a term that I just came up with. That is an actual term from the app called Waze. Now, even if you've heard of this app, don't check out on me yet, because I promise you, you've probably only been using about 25% of the power of this app. I'm going to show you some tips and things, the way that I use it to actually get that extra $200, and I'm actually getting more money than the average Uber driver out there because they don't know how to properly use it. So, all right, so let's get to it. The first thing I want to tell you is before my first video, I was kind of holding my phone up so that you could see the screen, and that's cool. My camera focus is pretty fast, but I found out that I can actually record my iPhone screen through my Mac. So that's cool, because I'll be able to cut in and out as I'm doing stuff on my phone. I'll cut the video so that you can see it in HD. It's a better user experience for you, and you can acquire the information a lot better. So with that being said, I am going to push record on my screen here so that I can start recording it. And let's open up the Waze app. Okay, it looks like this, a little comment bubble with some wheels on it. And then I also want to open up the Uber app so I can show you how I have it inside of the Uber application, how it works. Obviously, I was looking at, I was doing some calculations because analytics are important when it comes to income. So I was looking at what I made last Saturday, because today is Friday the 12th. You can see that, Friday, August the 12th. And this was last Saturday, so I was looking at what I did last Saturday because I'm game planning for what I want to do for this Saturday. But with that being said, you can see I made $216. I was online for about 8.5 hours. I did 11 trips, which is about $25 an hour, a little over $25 an hour. And you can see my last trip there was a $76 surge. You guys seen from the first video, surges here in Atlanta like that are common. It's not anything absurd. So I ended up calling it a day. I was like, I'm good. $25 an hour for me is cool. I got 216. I'm out. But you guys aren't here to talk about money, and because we got other videos we'll talk about that. I'm going to show you how to talk to you about navigation, how to make money doing that. So open up your Uber app, go to your account, then click settings. Okay, and from settings, click navigation. Now, obviously, I'm using an iPhone. Let me turn this way so you can see it a little bit. As I'm talking, you'll be able to see the screen, but then I'll cut in, you can really see the HD screen. But there's 4 options here, okay? So the first option is to operate Uber navigation exclusively, Google Maps or Waze, right? And then there's an option here that says ask every trip. Now this is key and important. Now it may be a little bit different for Droid users, and that's fine. If you don't have these, if you don't have the option for ask every trip, just click Waze, choose Waze, because I use Waze 95% of the time. Now I do use Waze in conjunction with Uber, but I use that on the front end. I'll show you that. But 95% of the time I use Waze. But I'm gonna show you the power behind Waze and how to get that extra $200 out of the week. So let me just, before I start giving you guys the golden nuggets here, because you know I'm not just about giving you information and just pulling information out of thin air. I like to talk facts, okay? So let's go in here and pull up Google buys Waze. All right, Obviously, you know, I read this article. So there's 3 articles out here: Forbes, TechCrunch, and Business Insider. I was reading the one that TechCrunch did. All right, TechCrunch titles their article, "Google bought Waze for $1.1 billion." Okay, giving a social data boost to its mapping business. Now, you guys can go and read that. But here's the important information and what I want to share with you about that. Google is one of the most powerful tech and business companies in the world. And they have that whole mapping thing locked down. Google Maps, Google Earth, no one's better than they are at that. So why would they spend $1.1 billion to acquire another navigation company? Well, it was in the title that I read. The key word in that title was social. Okay, I'm going to show you the power behind Waze and why it is a dream come true for Uber drivers. Okay, so let's talk about it. It's social. So let's just say I'm coming from, I go to the airport and I'm on my way to Buckhead. Okay, you know, that's a nice little route, a nice little drive. Well, on that route, there's hundreds of Wazers in the city that are on that route. And each one of those Wazers out there they're updating the app, telling you what's going on with that route. And here's the options that they have. These options are crucial to an Uber driver. Check this out. They can report traffic, moderate, heavy, or standstill traffic. They actually can take a picture and add a comment to it. We're going to talk about this stuff. They can report police officers, visible, hidden, or on the other side of the road. That's important. Okay, they can report accidents, minor, major accidents. They can take pictures of the accidents, comment on the accidents. You can see the accident. You're not even there, but you can see it. Okay, they can report hazards. Here's why reporting hazards is important. If you're driving, especially in the city of Atlanta, you're on 85 or 285, and someone has mayhem on the road, right? And you know, maybe they have a tire that blew out or something like that. So there's a big old piece of tire in the road, or something fell off a truck or whatever. You can't see that as a driver. But someone else who is passing by that or has seen that, they can report that hazard, and it will update it. Anytime somebody reports this stuff, it updates everyone on that route immediately. So this app is constantly talking to you on the route. There's traffic ahead. There's the police officer reported ahead. Hazard reported ahead. Be careful, right? That's important, because if you run over a tire, you run over something, and you break an axle or bend a rim or whatever, that is gonna cost you money. It's gonna take you off the road. You're done Ubering for the day, right? So not only does this thing save you money, but it will make you money. We'll talk about that in a second. But you can chat with other Wazers. On your route, there's these little icons of Wazers people on there. You can click on one of those. You can actually have a conversation with them. Not to say that you're going to be texting and driving, guys, but before you even put your car in drive, you already know what's going on with your route, is what I'm saying. Map issues, okay? This is important. Let's just say you have a certain route that you take in certain neighborhoods. You know that that's the quickest route to get to wherever you're going, right? But let's just say it was a storm or something like that, and maybe a tree limb or something like that fell down, and you're not aware that that street is now blocked off, or there's a sinkhole or something like that. You're not aware it's blocked off. Well, guess what? If you're not aware of that and you're navigating to go that route, now you have to do a U-turn, go around the block, or do whatever. You're wasting time, okay? And it's even worse if you get a call while you're in that neighborhood, and you start navigating thinking you're going the right way. And your passengers can see you on they can see you on the app. They can see what you're doing. So you're going, and it says that you're 2 minutes away, right? And then you get there and it's blocked off. Now you have to do a U-turn and go all the way around the block, and it's gonna now push you out to 4 minutes. You look incompetent. Before your passenger even gets in your car, you're not a 5-star driver. You can see how that works. And guess what? Remember, the lower your ratings are, the passengers can see that. They may only want to ride with certain drivers that have a certain rating. They will cancel on you. So if you're getting cancellations, you're not making money. Okay? So you can see how powerful that is. Now, let's talk about how this is making you money here, because I got other golden nuggets. There are 2 other things I want to talk to you that are golden. But let's talk about how just understanding this social part can actually make you money. The less time that you're in traffic, the more fares you can rack up. Okay, so I'll give you a real world example of this. If you wasn't using Waze and you went out and you just said that you want to drive 8 hours, and I'm gonna drive 8 hours, I'm gonna make more money than you. Here's how. You're 5 minutes in traffic here, 10 minutes in traffic here, 7 minutes in traffic there, wrong turn here, right? Going around extra block, 2-3 minutes around here. All this stuff is adding up. So in that 8-hour period, I'm effectively turning passengers at about 7 hours and 30 minutes, 7 hours and 45 minutes. I'm really driving with a purpose. You, on the other hand, you're stuck in traffic. You're making mistakes in your turns and your routes and stuff like that. And I'm going to talk to you about that in a second again. And now it's costing you time. So that means that you're not actually effectively getting fares at 8 hours, close to 8 hours. You've been out 8 hours, but you're not getting fares close to 8 hours. You're more so in about the 6-hour block, which means that you may only be able to get 15 fares to where I'm getting 21 or 22 fares. I'm putting more money in my pocket. We're both out there the same 8 hours. I'm just making more money than you because I truly understand how this navigation works, the power behind it. But wait, there's more, right? Like the 800 number, the 800 ads or whatever. I'm going to show you some other stuff that's going to make you some serious money. Okay, let's talk about it. So let's just say I'm going to work, and I recommend that you guys do that. There's a home destination and there's a work destination. I'm going to show you how I use those to work in my favor as well. You can see that my work destination is 6000 South Terminal Parkway, the airport, the cell phone lot. When I leave my house, I go directly to the airport, okay? So let's just click that I'm going to work. You can see here, it says I'm 5.7 miles away from the airport. It's going to take me about 10 minutes to get there, okay? Now here's the cool thing about that. It's telling me it's going to take me 10 minutes because it's already calculated any traffic, any road hazards or whatever. It's already calculated that. Here's why that's important. When you pick your passengers up, a lot of times they'll ask you about how long is it going to be before I get to my destination. A lot of people will answer that question. They will guess, which is bad, right? Because that person is dependent on you to give them correct information because they may text that information to somebody. And if you're wrong, you're not going to be a 5-star driver. You're not getting 5 stars on that ride. So watch that. But here's the good thing about it. The crazy cool thing about this. You can actually tell your passenger, yeah, we're about 5.7 miles away. We'll be there in about 10 minutes. How cool. You look very cool right now. And when you get 5 minutes away or 2 minutes away, you can actually have a conversation. Hey, we're about 2 minutes away. If you need to text someone, let them know you'll be there in about 2 minutes. You look like a 5-star driver. And you did nothing special other than just use the Waze app. You just properly use it, right? All right. Now, that's just one thing. Here's the other thing. I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to go further away because I want to show you something. Let's say I'm going to Roswell Road, and I'm using the airport here. I'm going from the airport to Roswell Road. You can see that that's going to take me 40 minutes. It's going to take me, now, it's 28 miles away, but it's going to take me 40 minutes. Now, why is that? Now, I know that in Atlanta, when there's no traffic, I'm traveling about a mile a minute. So it should only take me about 30 minutes to get there, but it's taking me 40 minutes, which means I know automatically that there's some traffic on that route. So I can look on this route and it'll tell me that there's traffic. As I start driving and I go in there, it'll show me that there's traffic. But here's the other cool thing about it, and I'm just clicking stuff. If you click here at the top, there's a drop down box, okay? Drop down, and you can preview your route. This is important. And the reason why is the Uber navigation app does not do this. It sucks. And let me tell you why this is important. If you're leaving, you're at the mercy of Uber to know. You're saying it'll only tell you got to turn left or right when you have to actually turn left or right. But this is important because I can look at this and I can see I need to hit 285 north. And then after I hit 285 north, I have 21 miles before exit 22 Northside Drive arrives. Guess what? I now can have an easy conversation with my passenger. I can keep my eyes on the road. I'm more focused. I don't have to worry about when the next ride is coming up. And my recording just stopped because I turned it sideways. Let me start it back up here. All right, sorry about that. I turned my phone sideways and it stopped the recording on there. And I really want you guys to see this. So picking up where I left off, you can look at a preview of your navigation, which is important. I can see here that I'm going 285 and then I have 21 miles before I hit exit 22. So now I can have a conversation with my passenger in the back seat, right? And I also can keep my eyes on the road for hazardous materials or whatever in the road or whatever. But in addition to that, this is powerful because the Uber app does not do that. You're at the mercy of the Uber app, and you only know whether you're turning left or right when you have to turn left or right. Now, let me tell you how that can be a problem. Once you get closer to your destination, sometimes when you're in the neighborhoods, you may have to take a left, and then 200 yards or 100 yards after that, you may have to make a quick right. Well, if you're traveling at 20 miles an hour, and you're waiting for the Uber app to do that, there's sometimes lag in it, and you may miss that turn, and now your passenger's gonna be like, oh, you should have turned right here. Now you look like an incompetent driver. Okay, your 5-star rating is in jeopardy. Here, you don't have to worry about that. You can preview your route, and so you can at any given time you can just hit that, and you can look at your route. Okay, and it doesn't matter how far or how close you are, you can look at it, so you know exactly how many left turns, right turns you have to do. That's invaluable to us as a driver. Okay, I don't know why Uber does not have that in their app. All right, so that's one thing. So let's get to the other two powerful things that I have here that you're gonna love. That'll make you a lot of money. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Here we go. Favorites. Okay. When I first became an Uber driver, the first thing I did is I went and I mapped out the city. Now, remember, I'm in Atlanta, so I call the city of Atlanta Buckhead, Midtown, and Downtown. That's what I call Atlanta. And then there's 22 cities around Atlanta. What I did is I went to each one of those cities, including Atlanta, and I mapped out the bars, the pubs, the clubs, and the restaurants that were hot. Where people frequent the most, where they spend their disposable income. Okay, I mapped them out and I saved the spots to a favorites in my Waze app. Now let me show you the power behind that. If I'm traveling from the airport, right, and someone runs me into Buckhead, right, into a neighborhood, 4 or 5 turns to the left, 6 turns to the right, whatever, I'm deep in the neighborhood. I'm not from there. I have no idea how to get out of this neighborhood, and most Uber drivers don't. And they start guessing, did I make a left turn here? Did I make a right turn here? Or they just start driving aimlessly trying to get out of the neighborhood. Not me. I drive with a purpose. If they run me to Buckhead, I have 5 places that I have as saved as a favorite. I know exactly where I'm going. So not only will I navigate out of the neighborhood, but I'm navigating out of the neighborhood right into a water hole, right where I can go get a passenger quick. Okay, so let's just think about that for a quick second. While other drivers are wandering around in the neighborhood aimlessly, I'm on my way directly to some money. You can see how I'm able to make more money than an average Uber driver out here. It's child's play. All right, so that's an important thing. Now you can also remember, even if you don't have a favorites in that area, you can always hit home or work, wherever your home or your workplace is, destination is. You hit that, and then it navigates you out of the neighborhood. Cool. This is a great way to use your app. So in your city, find the best places where people spend most of their time, okay? Disposable income, where they're spending it, and save that as a favorites. So it doesn't matter where someone runs me in the city in Atlanta or around the surrounding cities, Stone Mountain, Decatur, Smyrna, Alpharetta. It doesn't matter. I have favorites in all of those cities. I know exactly where to go to get the money. I never drive aimlessly. I always drive with a purpose. So that's the power behind that. The last thing I want to show you that's powerful in this app is planned drives. And I had a planned drive here because I was practicing. I want to make sure that I can do it right for you guys. So let's just say Uber texts you and says there's going to be 4 or 5 events in your city. Well, obviously you can't remember. Well, some of you can, but I can't. Maybe I have ADD or something. I don't know. But I can't remember 4 or 5 events going on in the city, the times that they're going to end and the times they start. Who has time for that? But I use my technology in Waze. What I'll do is, let's just say they said there's going to be a Beyonce concert, a UFC fight, and like 3 other things going on, right? What I'll do is I'll go in here and I'll say, let's say the UFC fight was going to be from 8 to 11 at Phillips Arena. What I'll do is I'll go in here and I'll type in Phillips Arena, and then I'll tell it, hey, listen, navigate me to Phillips Arena from wherever my current location is. And if I know that it's ending at 11, right, I'll tell it I want to start heading to Phillips Arena at 10:30, okay, from wherever I'm at, okay? Now here's the power behind this. You have 4 or 5 of your events already planned and set up. you know, all you got to do is go out and you're driving, right? You're hitting your water hose, you're hitting your favorites and all that stuff. And when that comes up, it's going to remind you and say, hey, Calvin, it's time for you to start driving to Phillips Arena. This is gravy. Why? Because at 11 o'clock, you know that people are going to be requesting Uber rides, okay? And that means that if you get there in time, you possibly can hit the surge. Is that right? So even if you don't hit the surge, you're going to be getting rides. If you get there early enough, you'll get some of the people who come out who want to go home 15 minutes early, right? So you get them, take them where they need to go, and double back. Okay, so some of you guys seen in my first video, they said, man, geez, you were able to get like 2 surge rides, you make $160 inside of an hour. It's because I doubled back. I got there early, picked someone up on a surge, shot them to where they were going, and doubled back to the water hole to pick up another surge. This is child play. This is how you use this to make more money. So hopefully this information is very, very powerful for you, and that you're going to use it to make that extra $200 a week, because I promise you, if you do it the way that I'm telling you, it will make you extra money like that. And for me in Atlanta, I'm averaging an extra $200 a week. It may be different in your market, but I'm just telling you that it will make you extra money, a lot more money than the average Uber driver who's driving the same amount of hours and the same amount of days than you are. You're just maximizing it. And that's why you're subscribed to this channel, The Simple Driver. Hopefully this helps. My name is Calvin. Peace.